Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy at 714 Web, and I'm going to show you how to set up debugging with VS Code and WP Local. So as you probably know, WP Local is now owned by WP Engine. They've extended it quite a bit. They created add-ons, um, and these add-ons were only available to premium users, but now they're available to everybody for free. So it's really great. Makes it easy to do this, but it's not really very well documented, if at all. To kind of dig through some forums and find little bits and pieces from people here and there to figure out how to get this working, which is probably why you're watching this video. That's why I'm creating it. So the first thing you need to do is click on add-ons. Make sure you got the latest version of local installed. Go to add-ons and click on Xdebug plus VS Code. Now, I already have it installed, but if you don't have it installed, you'll see a green button. It'll say install and reload. It'll actually restart local, and then you'll go back to your list of sites. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is actually in VS Code itself. So we're going to open VS Code. We're going to go to the extensions, and you're going to type PHP debug, and I actually have that installed already as well. But if you don't, just go ahead and install it, and that puts the pieces that we need into VS Code. All right, I'm just going to close that window out for a moment. I actually turned on the ability to see hidden files on my Mac so that you could see what happens here. But basically, VS Code Xdebug needs to see a configuration file, a JSON file, in the root directory that you're working out of. So one of the important things is to know which folder to actually work out of in VS Code to get debugging to work. So here's my local installs, my sites. So this one is actually located there. I know they're not named the same, but it's the same install. And the way you'll see it is you'll open it up, you'll see apps or the app. Then you're going to see public, and public, of course, is where the WordPress files are all installed. So the public folder is where it's going to install it. So the first thing you need to know is stop your site. It doesn't seem to work properly if your site's running. So just go ahead and stop your site. And then once it's stopped, you're going to go to Tools. It's still working, but go to Xdebug plus VS Code. There we go. Now we see this option, Add a Run Configuration to VS Code. We're going to click on that, and you're going to see this folder just popped in. It created this .vs code. The dot in front of it makes it a hidden file, or hidden folder in this case. And inside that has a launch.json file, which is the configuration file that Xdebug needs. So that is installed. The root directory it's installed in is the public folder. So that's the folder we're going to want to work out of. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the site again. And while that site is starting, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag that onto my VS Code editor. And now you'll see that VS Code file, the launch.json file, is here with the configuration that we need. Okay, so now we're ready to go. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you're going to work on in here. You can work on a plugin, and you can work on a theme file or child theme or whatever. The debugging will work for all of them because it's in the root folder that your project is in right now. So I'm going to go ahead down to my theme files, and in my functions file, I have a kind of ridiculous script here. I got an array of words, and then I'm going to loop through those words and echo them out on the screen. So I'm actually going to come back here to my site, or you can hit open site here. I've already got it open. So we'll refresh it, and of course it will echo out that phrase at the top with no spaces because I didn't add any. So we are debugging. All right, but we're not actually debugging yet. We need to tell the debugger where to stop or where to pause. So we have the line numbers in our code, and if you hover over them, you see this red dot to my left in the gutter. Okay, so if you want to add, we're gonna add a breakpoint right here to where it echoes it out. So I'm just gonna click on that, and it sets a breakpoint. All right, now I'm gonna go to the debug panel, and by default it should be selected on listen for Xdebug local. That's what we want. So we're gonna hit the play button on that. Now we're debugging. You see it added the bar down here. It switched to the debug console. It's got this control panel up here with the stop, refresh, or reload, and the pause button. So what we need to do to debug is we need to actually run the page again. Now that it's in a state to actually watch it, now we're going to refresh. And once we refresh, you can see it brought up variables over here. So we've got different kinds of variables. We've got local variables, and this is everything that is available on that page load. WP variables, WordPress variables, and anything else, including super variables or super globals, which are like the cookies, get and post, and so forth. So in this case, our two variables are words and word. So it's in alphabetical order. We just scroll down and we're going to find, here's our array, words. So we are debugging, and then currently word is set to we. So in order to see this in action, we're just going to step forward. So we click that and then we see it change to R. And by the way, I can go to another part in the file here and hit the step forward, and it takes us straight to the current breakpoint that's going to hit. So if you have multiple breakpoints in the code, it's going to take you straight to the one that it's actually working on, and you can see what is currently happening here. So you can also do this in multiple files, and it will actually jump between files when it executes based on the time it executes. So in this case, let's just actually, we're going to stop this debugging, and I'm going to actually take away that breakpoint. I'm going to copy this code, and I'm going to go back to my file view, and I'm going to go to a plugin that I've been working on, and we're just going to insert this into this plugin before my class executes. And so now it's executing at a whole different level, at a different place. I'm going to save that file, and then I'm going to hit a breakpoint there. So I was working out of a child theme. Now I'm actually working out of a plugin, just to show you that it works just the same as long as your project is running out of that root folder where that VS Code configuration file is. Okay, so now we're going to hit debug again. We're going to come back here. We're going to refresh the page, and you're going to see that it stopped it. We were already on this. So let's actually go to the functions file. Just for fun, we'll scroll down, go to the functions file, and step forward again. It actually jumps to this file where the current breakpoint is firing. And if we scroll down, we can see the variable here. So let's just step forward one more time, and we can see that it's changing here. So we can work out of anything within this WordPress install and get the debugging console. Now, there are also other functionalities available with debugging, but that's the basics on how to set it up and how to get it running. I hope that helps.